If you look at the history of human technology, our computers are getting exponentially faster, but they are also getting incredibly power-hungry. The biggest limitation to building a true supercomputer isn't the microchips. It is the power supply and the massive amount of waste heat those chips generate. If humanity survives for another million years, and our artificial intelligence continues to evolve, we will eventually run out of energy on Earth to power our servers. To build the ultimate computer, we will have to abandon planetary power grids entirely. We will have to plug our hard drives directly into a star. We will have to build a Matrioshka brain. Proposed by Robert Bradbury in 1997, the Matrioshka brain takes the concept of a Dyson sphere, a megastructure built to enclose a star and harvest its energy, and pushes it to the absolute limit of thermodynamics and computational physics. A Dyson sphere is meant to provide power for a civilization to live. A Matryoshka brain is meant to be the civilization. It gets its name from Matryoshka dolls, the wooden Russian nesting dolls that fit perfectly inside one another. Because a Matryoshka brain isn't just one shell surrounding a sun, it is a series of massive, nested computational shells layered one after the other, extending all the way out into the solar system. To understand why it requires layers, we have to look at the physics of waste heat. When a computer processes information, it generates heat. The innermost shell of the Matryoshka brain would be built incredibly close to the star. It would operate at temperatures of thousands of degrees, absorbing the blinding raw radiation of the sun. It would use that energy to perform unimaginable amounts of calculations. But it cannot hold on to that energy forever, or it would melt. It has to vent its waste heat outward into space. This is where the genius of the megastructure comes in. The waste heat radiating off the first shell is still incredibly energetic. So, the second, larger shell catches that waste heat. The second shell operates at a slightly cooler temperature, uses that heat to perform its own calculations, and then vents its own, even cooler waste heat to a third shell. This process repeats across multiple layers, shell after shell, absorbing energy, computing, and passing the scraps outward. By the time the energy reaches the final, outermost shell at the edge of the solar system, the temperature of the structure is operating at almost absolute zero, emitting nothing but faint, invisible radio waves into the dark of space. It is the most efficient machine physically possible. It wrings every single drop of usable energy out of a star until there is absolutely nothing left. So, what do you do with a computer the size of a solar system? You don't use it to solve math equations. You use it to simulate reality. The computational capacity of a single Matryoshka brain breaks the human imagination. It could perform more calculations in 1 microsecond than all of humanity has performed in our entire history. With that much processing power, an advanced alien species wouldn't need to build physical spaceships or colonize dangerous, freezing planets. They could simply upload their consciousness into the brain. Inside the machine, they could create trillions of simulated universes. They could create perfect, atom-for-atom digital replicas of their own history, or design virtual utopias where the laws of physics are whatever they want them to be. A single star could power a digital paradise housing octillions of conscious minds, living out immortal digital lives while their physical bodies are long gone. But this concept leads to a deeply unsettling philosophical paradox, famously known as the simulation hypothesis. If Matryoshka brains are physically possible to build, and if even one advanced alien civilization in the entire universe has built one, then they are likely running billions of simulated universes inside it right now. Mathematically, This means there would be exactly one real physical universe and billions of fake simulated universes. If you throw a dart at a board with one red dot and a billion blue dots, you are almost certainly going to hit a blue dot. Therefore, from a purely statistical standpoint, if Matrioshka brains exist, the odds that you and I are currently living in the one true physical base reality are practically zero. It is mathematically highly probable that the Milky Way galaxy, the Earth, and your entire life are just lines of code running on a blistering hot, solar-powered server floating in an alien sky.